Sometimes it feels like life begins on a blank page. But deep within, beneath the layers of habits and circumstances, there's always a quiet voice whispering, "You've been here before." Arson had long ignored it, thinking it was just coincidence, memories of past mistakes, subconscious conclusions, childhood experience. But one morning, something shifted. He woke with an unusual clarity, as if a door had appeared inside him, one he had never noticed before. Beyond that door was a warm glow, an invitation, a sense of waiting. A vivid image came to him. A street he had never seen, stone walls meticulously built, soft dawn light, and people's faces looking at him with the familiarity of old friends. Arson didn't feel fear. On the contrary, it felt so familiar that he caught himself thinking, "I'm coming home." He didn't know where this feeling came from, but it was too strong to ignore. And in that moment, he wondered, could life be not a single line, but a tangle of paths intersecting within the soul? He sensed that this image was not random. It was as if he had looked through a window in time, seeing himself living, learning, feeling joy and pain, making mistakes, and discovering new paths. His soul seemed to say, "You've been here, and now you can understand more." He began noticing strange patterns in his daily life. Situations that once seemed random suddenly made sense. As if he carried experience he could not explain rationally. Every conversation, every meeting, every choice seemed like repetitions of the past, now offering a chance for conscious response. He realized the truth. The past is not just memory. It is guidance, a key to living deliberately. That day, walking down a busy street, he saw another image. A small courtyard with a tall tree and a bench, where someone quietly waited for him. A feeling of trust emerged, as if the meeting had been set long ago. Everything seemed to slow down. The air grew thick and rich, and Arson felt an unusual calm. He realized he was no longer just a person living in the present, but part of a long chain of events, experiences, and memories stretching through time. If he paid attention, every moment carried a lesson his soul was ready to learn. The next day, memories returned with renewed intensity. Sitting by the river, watching the shimmering water, he felt warmth ignite inside, as if someone had softly touched his heart. He saw himself in another time, another place, teaching others what he had just realized, the art of listening and understanding. Every word, every gesture, every action carried attention and care. He realized that the soul is not limited to a single life, and that his desire to help others was the legacy of countless lives, experiences he had carried with him without realizing it. This realization lifted Arson. He began noticing small coincidences in daily life. Chance encounters, subtle hints, strange ideas arriving just at the right moment. Nothing seemed accidental anymore. It was guidance, a signal that the past had not disappeared, but lived within him. He thought, perhaps the key to happiness is not seeking meaning outside, but recognizing one's inner strength, accumulated across lifetimes, and using it for good here and now. In the evenings, sitting by his apartment window and watching the sunset paint the sky in warm hues, he felt the past calling him again. Not through streets or faces, but through sensations. The smell of freshly baked bread, footsteps on cobblestones, sunlight on his skin. These memories were not dreams. They were whispers from his own soul. He realized that his life was not random. Everything that had happened before this moment had been preparation, practice, the chance to become more conscious. Arson began to understand that every small joy, every moment he once dismissed, was a crucial element of his growth. A smile from a woman in the subway, helping a neighbor, a quiet moment listening to the rain. These were not just fragments of the day, but lessons his soul had already absorbed. And then he understood the key. True freedom comes when we begin to notice and cherish these moments. Past, present, and future merge into one continuous flow, and each step becomes a conscious choice. The next day, he noticed another sign. Walking down the street, his gaze fell on an old book in a shop window. The pages were worn, the cover faded in the sun, but when he touched it, something clicked inside him. An image formed in his mind, himself in another time, sharing knowledge, teaching others to listen and make conscious choices. That moment felt like a bridge between worlds, the past and the present. Arson understood. Memories of past lives were not just images. They gave him the opportunity to act differently here and now, with wisdom and courage. He reflected on how often in life he had acted out of habit, fear, or pressure. Now a new perspective opened. Everything could change if he listened to his inner voice. The past became a tool, not a burden. Arson felt inspired. Every life, every experience, every decision was a step toward a more conscious version of himself. If he paid attention to these signals, his path would grow brighter, his heart calmer. Over the next days, memories grew clearer and stronger. Sitting in the park, listening to the rustle of leaves, he felt the past merge with the present. Warmth rose within, as if a quiet voice said, "Remember, each life is a lesson, and each moment a chance." He saw himself in another era, helping others not through obligation or force, but through genuine care and attention to their inner world. These images did not bring nostalgia. They brought understanding, that his drive for growth, kindness, and consciousness was no accident, but part of his essence, shaped across time. Arson began noticing how present-day events echoed lessons he had already learned. He saw that small decisions, once thought insignificant, truly affected the lives of others, like a single point in a web creating ripples across the whole space. He realized, awareness is the ability to see not only one's actions, but also the consequences they generate. Each moment became an opportunity to be better, wiser, and more conscious. In the evenings, sitting on his balcony watching the city drift into twilight, he noticed how the reflections of lights in the windows seemed more than just play. They were maps of his memories, each moment repeated across different timelines, offering a chance to view his mistakes and successes from a higher perspective. Every experience left a mark, forming inner wisdom. This feeling brought freedom. The past no longer dictated his actions. It became a tool for conscious choice. He thought about how often fear had guided his decisions, keeping him from acting boldly and honestly. Reflecting on past lives, he realized the fears that seemed modern were echoes of old lessons his soul had not fully learned. Now, if he acted consciously, guided by his inner voice, he could navigate life without unnecessary fear. Each day was a chance for growth, each meeting an opportunity to show love, patience, and understanding. The next morning, Arson woke with a sense of lightness. Everything seemed brighter, city sounds clearer, his breath filled with meaning. He recalled the strange image from the night before, standing atop a hill, watching the sunrise, feeling complete unity with the world. Inside, a light of understanding ignited. Every life, every encounter, every challenge was purposeful. And if the soul remembered, it meant it wanted him to recognize the value in every moment. Arson felt the past gently nudging him to act here and now. Gratitude, attention, and care were not just words. They were bridges connecting souls across time. Living by this principle, his actions gained power he had never imagined. He smiled, feeling that each day was a chance to correct past mistakes and take a step toward a future full of meaning and harmony, where choices were conscious and life radiated with purpose. Over the following days, he noticed more signs from past lives, sudden insights, strange visions, fleeting sensations. He began to see that everyone he met, every situation he encountered, was a reflection of his soul and its lessons. The past was no longer a burden, it became a compass. The clearer he saw these connections, the easier it was to make decisions without fear or doubt, and his heart grew more confident. He realized conscious life begins with understanding that everything we experience carries value. Mistakes are not failures but guidance. Joy is not random, but a chance to see the light within. He began observing himself attentively. Each word, each action, each thought, like a seed that could grow into trees of kindness, understanding, and love. With each day, this awareness made him freer, his heart softer, opening a path to inner harmony. One evening, sitting by a lake, watching the water ripple in the breeze, he felt the past and present merge into one stream. A deep sense of calm and certainty filled him. He saw himself across multiple timelines. In one, helping people. In another, learning patience. In a third, making mistakes and understanding their consequences. Each vision carried meaning, as if his soul gently showed him that everything he had experienced mattered. Arson realized that every choice was an opportunity to express love and awareness. Even small acts could change the world, like a stone creating ripples in water. He smiled, recognizing that he could use the lessons from past lives as a guiding star, stepping forward with courage, wisdom, and mindfulness. His heart filled with gratitude for each moment, understanding that true human strength lies in awareness and attention to the world. With each passing day, memories of past lives grew brighter. Arson noticed that many habits and reactions that once seemed random now held meaning. He began to understand why he felt drawn to certain people, why some situations triggered anxiety while others brought joy. It was like a map created by his soul, where every detail mattered. He realized mindfulness is not just self-understanding. It is the ability to see hidden connections that guide us toward better choices. One evening, he found himself again on the old street in his mind. This time, he could clearly see a house with a red door and a garden filled with apple trees. The images were so vivid he could almost smell the fresh earth and hear the creak of the wooden porch. He understood. These memories offered a chance to choose differently, to correct old mistakes without losing himself. Most importantly, they showed that love, care, and attention to others are eternal values, crossing time and space, connecting souls in a continuous flow. One day, Arson noticed the past stepping out of shadows and blending into his present life. Sitting in a cafe, watching passers-by, each person felt familiar, not outwardly, but inwardly, as if their souls had met many times before. He realized that every encounter carried meaning, even those that seemed random. This was a lesson in awareness, to see the value in each moment, in each person, and understand that the energy and attention we give return to us, forming ripples we might never notice. Arson felt capable of acting differently now. He started paying attention to the smallest details, a stranger's smile, helping a neighbor, a random kind word. Each action became a seed planted in eternity. He realized that the soul's strength is not measured by the number of years lived, but by the mindfulness in our actions and the light we bring to others. The more he understood this principle, the brighter his inner light became, and the clearer it was to Arson that the past was not a burden, but a source of strength, guiding him toward a conscious, happy life. Each new memory deepened his understanding of life. He saw that fears that once seemed insurmountable were now lessons, not barriers. Every experience, every pain, and joy were part of a vast current of experiences carried through time by the soul. He understood that mistakes were not the end, but invitations to learn, correct, and become better, braver, and wiser. The more he realized this, the stronger he felt inside. One day, sitting on a rooftop, watching the city light up, he realized that all his decisions and actions were threads weaving together. past, present, and future. A sense of responsibility rose within him. Every day was a chance to live consciously, help others, love, and express gratitude. Arson smiled, feeling light and inspired. He knew the past was not a weight but a source of strength, helping him move forward, building a life full of meaning, joy, and harmony. He began noticing remarkable synchronicities in life. Tiny coincidences, random encounters, odd words, subtle hints became signals from his soul. He realized that if one looked closely, every detail carried a lesson, and every meeting offered a chance to change the path. Memories of past lives became an inner compass, helping him make decisions without fear or doubt. Mindfulness was not abstract. It was a living force, guiding and inspiring actions in the present. One evening, walking down a quiet alley, he felt warmth within, as if someone gently said, "You are on the right path." He recalled images from past lives, moments of care, patience, and helping others. He understood the core truth. The soul remembers everything so that we can act consciously and love unconditionally. Each day became an opportunity to show kindness, learn, and grow. He realized that the present is a continuation of all his past lives, and every moment carries the potential to become a better version of himself. One day, sitting in the park, watching leaves fall, each leaf felt like a symbol of life cycles. Joy followed by hardship, mistakes as lessons, memories as guidance. A sense of meaning grew inside him, that everything he had experienced mattered, even moments once deemed meaningless. He began to understand. The past never disappears, it lives within us. In the evening, sitting by the window, watching darkness slowly fall over the city, the lights reflecting softly in puddles, he felt that past and present merged into one stream, like a river flowing through all times. Every life, every moment, every decision was part of a vast current of experience, accumulated by the soul to help us learn, grow, and awaken. Memories of the past were no longer just images. They were true lessons, ready to guide him toward a more conscious and harmonious life. He began to see how even the simplest actions affect the world around him. A smile, a kind glance, helping someone. These created a chain that spanned time and space. Arson realized that true human strength lies in mindfulness. Noticing hidden connections, understanding them, and acting with attention. Each moment became an opportunity to express love, practice patience, and build a life where every step matters and the soul moves toward light, awareness, and harmony. The next day, Arson noticed his thoughts were clearer, his heart calmer. The past no longer felt like mere memories. It was a guiding light, helping him make conscious decisions. Every event now seemed a lesson prepared by his soul. Mistakes and challenges no longer frightened him, for he understood. Each obstacle was a chance to grow stronger, to learn love, and to understand the world more deeply. Walking down the street, he saw a child helping an elderly woman carry her bags. This simple act reminded him that small actions create great change. Arson realized mindfulness is the ability to see the value in each moment and every person. He felt inspired to act boldly and honestly, spreading light and care to others. The past ceased to be a burden. It became a source of strength, enabling him to live consciously, cherish every moment, and guide his life toward harmony, love, and meaning. He began noticing astonishing patterns in his life. Chance meetings, words, and events suddenly made sense. He realized the world is full of signals, and the soul reminds us that every moment is a lesson, every encounter an opportunity to show love and awareness. Memories of past lives became a compass, pointing the way to harmony and happiness. He understood that the past is not a weight, but a source of strength, guiding conscious, courageous, and wise decisions. In the evening, gazing at the city lights, Arson felt that every step he took created a chain of events reflected in the future. He understood that small acts could have profound effects. A smile, help, or kind word could change not only another's life, but his own fate. Past, present, and future merge into a single flow, and mindfulness allows Arson to live so that his soul grows, his heart fills with light, and life acquires deep meaning, joy, and inspiration. The next morning, Arson awoke with an unusual sense of clarity and lightness. Memories of past lives flooded his consciousness with vivid images. People, events, lessons, all seemed familiar and significant. He understood that the soul remembers everything so that he could act consciously, see the value in each moment and every person around him. The past became not a memory, but a source of strength, enabling him to live with wisdom and harmony. He noticed that even ordinary moments, a conversation with a friend, a glance at a tree, a chance encounter, gained depth. Everything had meaning, everything affected the flow of events, and every step could change life. He realized mindfulness is the ability to see these invisible connections and use them to cultivate kindness, joy, and harmony. Each moment became an opportunity to be better, wiser, braver, and to build a life full of love and attention. In the evening, sitting by the window as the city sank into soft twilight, he felt past and present merge into one flow, bringing complete peace. Memories of past lives offered not just images, but understanding. Every mistake, every joy, every meeting mattered. The soul showed him that awareness is the ability to see hidden lessons and use them to grow in love. He began to notice how even the simplest actions create a chain of influence around him. A smile, a kind word, a helping hand, all returned, strengthening inner harmony and connecting souls. The past was no longer a burden. It had become a source of strength, allowing him to build a conscious and joyful life. Every day became an opportunity to express love, wisdom, and attention, while his soul could grow and shine, turning life into a flow of light, harmony, and meaning, where every moment was valued and used for personal and collective growth. In the final moments, Arson sat in silence, feeling past, present, and future merge into a single stream of life. He realized that every encounter, every action, every thought was no coincidence. The soul guides us, showing the way, giving lessons and strength so that we can live consciously, love, and do good. The past had become a source of inspiration, not a burden. He felt that each moment was precious, and that right now was the time to take steps toward the best version of himself, toward harmony, light, and joy. Arson smiled, realizing that life is not just a sequence of days, but an opportunity to express love, wisdom, and attention, to connect hearts and create a flow of goodness. He understood that every moment was a chance to correct mistakes, show care, inspire others, and move toward the light. And when he stood up, ready for a new day, a fire of awareness and strength burned within him, warming his soul and lighting his path. He knew that life is a miracle and that memories of past lives are a gift, allowing him to live with an open heart and complete dedication. Every step forward was now taken with intention, every breath filled with purpose, and every interaction an opportunity to spread the light he had discovered within. The journey through memory had transformed him completely. Arson walked into the sunrise, knowing that the hidden inner world he had discovered was not separate from the outer world, but its very foundation. Past, present, and future, all one continuous flow of consciousness, love, and eternal becoming.